This was a huge riding day that took me from Utah to Arizona. The first stop today was Zion National Park on the way to the Grand Canyon. Zion was the perfect encore performance for Utah. Like all the national parks in Utah, the experience riding through gives you a profound appreciation for this planet and the natural beauty. Zion was impressive. I was sure my experience would be elevated if I took the time to hike and walk the trails and not just ride through on the motorcycle. I was happy to have had the chance to pass through Zion, but it was so over capacity. It was crowded and overflowing with tourists. Parking lots were full, buses were shuttling people everywhere, and cars lined up along the road. All these destination places in Utah were worth the trip. However, I had encountered hours upon hours of riding through places with no specific designation, which equal or surpass the beauty and tranquility of the tourist stops. Don't forget the places in between. It's literally the journey and not the destination. I headed out to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. Crossing into Arizona, the environment changed quickly. The ride to and through the north rim of the Grand Canyon was windy. The remnants of forest fires or planned burns occupied a big portion of the landscape. Twists and turns, upshifting and downshifting, enjoying the ride, and I arrived at the north rim in the Grand Canyon Lodge. I wasn't staying there, just there for the views. There were many trails, and you could probably occupy several days exploring them all. I took a couple of hours to snap pictures and walk parts of the rim. I had to stand still, without my sunglasses on and without looking through the screen of a camera or camera phone. The north rim of the Grand Canyon is one of those places that you just can't put words to. Any attempt to explain it or describe it only falls short. It's a place that evokes emotion. It's a setting that suggests there's something more than the natural laws of the universe at play. Simply, I've always felt that places like these are paintings done by the universe, the creator, God, or whatever label you feel comfortable using for that which has no name. Leaving the Grand Canyon North Rim, I made my way deeper into Arizona. The setting was dramatic and screamed Arizona. It's the picture from every Western movie you've seen, the red cliffs and the desert. The vastness and the formations in the distance, the haze on the horizon, and the canyons with a ribbon of road weaving through the fabric of Arizona. I was on the motorcycle moving through this environment. It felt great. I felt connected and in sync with my surroundings. I entered the Navajo Native American reservation. The road was straight and the wind was gusting. The music playing in my helmet was Robbie Robertson and the Red Road Ensemble. It was both surreal and appropriate to be listening to this as I rode in this part of the country. The music, the vibration, the land, the surroundings, and the motorcycle all carried me forward. I was connected to everything. As I continued riding, it was getting later and later. This part of the route was pretty desolate, with not many places to stop. I was going to have to push to the south rim of the Grand Canyon, and that would get me there after dark. Pulling in late, I was happy to find a place. I unloaded, changed, and grabbed a beer and a sandwich. I was at the south rim, I was safe, and it was a good day. Gratitude. The Grand Canyon has the effect of getting you thinking deeply, of contemplating the universe, existence, life, and death. It's so awe-inspiring and amazing you can't help but start to have lots of questions and thoughts. As I rode out away from the North Rim, my mind went to why I was undertaking this journey. this project, this endeavor. I was feeling extremely grateful. Moments, experiences, and adventures that are big or small are the things that punctuate the story of our lives. It's the thing that marks the way things were and how things are evolving. The adventure for me was a natural process of my life and maybe fated to happen by the universe. Simply, I took a deep breath and I was exhaling for the length of this journey. It was an endeavor of the soul, and the journey was a meditation. The Grand Canyon South Rim delivered more iconic views that dazzle. Words and pictures can't convey the serenity that the place grants you, the sheer splendor that is before you, and the humbling feeling you have for nature, time, and the universe. It evokes the same feelings as the North Rim. However, the North Rim is more remote and thus is a different experience. The Grand Canyon South Rim definitely attracts more tourists compared to the North Rim, but the energy was still good and people were having fun. I was concerned there might be the Disney World effect. Instead, there were plenty of overlooks and trails. Yes, there was a high volume of people, selfie sticks, and silly poses, but most were in good spirit and seemed to be excited and engaged in the South Rim experience. I took a brief ride along the east rim of the Grand Canyon, but quickly turned toward making my way to Flagstaff and the Overland Expo West. I had purchased the weekend pass with motorcycle camping and wanted to give myself time to find my way and get set up. It was a last-minute decision within the last few days. I knew it was happening and heard several ads for it on the Adventure Rider Radio podcast a few days ago. My planned route and the timing lined up. Arriving in Flagstaff at Overland Expo West in Fort Tuttle County Park, I parked at HQ and was able to register. Tents and motorbikes are scattered across a section of the pine forest with no designated sites. The guy in the distance waved me over and pointed me to an area next to his that was open, a friendly invitation that was very much welcome. There were 3 guys there in an impromptu camp. I would come to find out later that 2 were friends who rode from Southern California, and the 3rd was from Vancouver, and he joined the group much like I did. We all walked the dusty trail to the expo and visited some vendors. We grabbed beers and pizzas. Everyone took turns buying more grub and brews. Later that evening, sitting around camp and chatting was a blast. The night was rough and I was freezing. The problem simply was that my sleeping bag wasn't adequate for these temps. I wasn't enjoying sleeping in the tent. I was trying to survive till morning. I slept intermittently, waking up cold and in pain around 5 a.m. I was just happy to survive the night. Fortunately, one of the vendors was selling an internal sleeping bag liner that would improve the temperature range of my sleeping bag by another 25 degrees. I made the rounds with most of the vendors, followed by beers and lunch. Early beers, but then again breakfast was at 6:30 a.m. Overlanders, adventurers, authors, and presenters. I attended talks by Tiffany Coates, Sam Manicom, and Ted Simon. This was my second Overland Expo, and second time having the opportunity to hear Sam and Ted in person. All the sessions were informative, but more importantly, inspiring, with plenty of smiles and laughs mixed in. I returned to the camp after the talks and met up with the rest of the guys. After hanging out and chatting further, I decided to call it a night. It was a cold night again at 36 degrees, but I conquered it. I was happy to stay with the group and make the 2 nights of camping work for me. A great day. It went a little something like this. And now, it's time for something completely different. Up early again, and I was trying to get the blood flowing into all my extremities. After breakfast, I broke down my campsite, I said my goodbyes, and I was back on the bike. I was happy to be riding again, and today's riding was tremendously fun. The Red Rock of Sedona and the ride there through the forest was Arizona at its best. I took a detour to Montezuma Castle National Monument. That's the iconic picture we've all seen of the dwellings built into the mountain. Now I have my own picture. A Native American guy playing the wood flute there made for a very special visit. Heading into Prescott National Forest delivered some of the best riding of the day. It was a long distance ride through twists, turns, and camber changes in the road, all with views that went on and on. I set my sights on traveling toward Los Angeles. The ride turned toward the desert and getting to I-10 West. I made it one exit before the California border on I-10 West. It was a good day. I was happy to shower after 2 days of camping and also to do some laundry. Tomorrow would mark the end of 3 weeks on the road. An incredible milestone that would only be made more meaningful because I would celebrate it by reaching the Pacific Ocean, thus officially having ridden across North America. I was at the border of Arizona and California. Quickly crossing into California, I felt like I had arrived. This day's ride would bring me to the Pacific Ocean, a major milestone. The idea of having ridden across the country, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, was now going to be a reality. I was approaching Santa Monica and I needed some theme music. Time for some Red Hot Chili Peppers. A couple of songs in my helmet, Californication, and then Snow, Hey Ho. What a cool vibe riding the end of I-10 and arriving with a view of Santa Monica Pier. Here I am, 3 weeks to the day in Santa Monica, California. Incredible ride, beautiful country, coast to coast, the Atlantic to the Pacific. Feeling tremendous gratitude. I then rode the bike to the pier and down onto it. I had done it. What a sense of accomplishment. The joyous, giddy feeling followed. I was there. I was excited to meet family for dinner who lived in LA. And my wife Jeanette was coming tomorrow to ride with me for a week. All blessings and things to be thankful for. Today I took an early morning ride on the 405 South to Long Beach to get the bike service. I was there from 8:30 a.m. to about 2:30 p.m. A long day at the shop. Regular maintenance needed to be done and new tires. On the way back to the hotel, I followed some other motorcyclists and practiced my lane splitting. With my wide panniers, it was a bit unnerving. I was pushing to get back to the hotel. Jeanette was there and I hadn't seen her in 3 weeks. It was awesome to be reunited and to start our adventure together over the coming week. I knew having a pillion would change the dynamics of the trip. However, I was looking forward to sharing life on the motorcycle with her and also to have the experience riding together in California. It would be a new kind of adventure in the coming days. Hey there, fellow travelers. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for coming along on the journey. I'll be posting new episodes pretty regularly, so if you're interested in following along, then I'd be really grateful if you did that YouTube thing. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell down below and you'll be informed when new stuff is uploaded. If you really like the video, then give it a big thumbs up and feel free to leave a cool comment as well. Thanks for traveling along. See you on the road next time soon on the channel.